Now, by this point, compact fixed blades have proven their value as a replacement to large folders. Regardless if you're just running around town, hanging out at the bike park and running some errands like we're doing today and sporting compact fixed blade, but also in the backcountry, regardless if you're hunting, you're camping, you're day hiking, because of their compact size but durability. And Reiff Knives has been on the cutting edge of this concept, pun intended, for a while now. Not only with the original release of the F3 compact fixed blade, but last year when they released the Circadian, really delivering something especially for the outdoors that I hadn't seen in a while. Well, this year they released their Sheepsfoot variant, and in today's video we're going to unpack what this blade brings to the table and how it varies from the original. Is it more suited just for EDC, or is it still very capable in the great outdoors? There's also a big update on the sheaths across the board for Reiff Knives. And here's the deal, guys. You know, every week I work hard to give you in-depth breakdowns on gear and equipment, and when I can, exclusive deals on that gear and equipment. Well, I've been able to do just that. Reiff Knives has agreed for a limited time to offer $30 off the Sheepsfoot version of the Circadian. That is wild, and that is exclusive to you in the Gideonstactical audience. You're not going to find this deal anywhere else or through anywhere else. So this is just my way of saying thanks to you guys in the audience. We'll break down pricing, competitive options, and all that in detail a little bit later in the video. If you can't wait, all the info is in the description box, including that link, promo code, and the timetable on which that code is active for. And so we're going to unpack this model, pros, cons, help you make a wise choice on whether or not it deserves a place in your pocket. If you're new to the channel, I'm Aaron. This is Gideonstactical. Let's have some fun. Just so much to get to and going on in this video, scratching that gear lover itch. Not only Sheepsfoot designs, but Kydex sheath options, sheath adapters I found at Blade Show. Man, Sheepsfoot always has felt like, I mean, it just feels like I got a claw, like a raptor claw, right there. And I've always found that Sheepsfoot designs tend to excel in 4 key areas and then have a little bit of a drawback in one kind of application. So what are those 4 key areas that they really work well on, and what is this Circadian bringing to the table? Well, we're looking at like about 3.1 inches overall cutting edge on almost, not quite, but almost a full flat grind. Super, super high saber grind there. We got a gradual drop, a little bit of swedging, but it's not, you know, like a full-on clip or anything like that. Lots of flat portions to grab onto, and then of course, all USA made Magna Cut steel. Rockwell 61 to 63. I think that is like what most of us should be looking for. Very, very good, sweet spot that we would want Magna Cut to do. Can it do more? Absolutely. Have we seen it do a lot less? Absolutely. So this is like right there in that sweet spot of durability, but also edge retention and wear resistance. Now, the first area that I would say any Sheepsfoot is going to excel in, and this one, because of its almost continuous straight edge, is precision with cutting and scoring tasks, particularly in the utility arena. Cardboard, polymers, because the tip is down at a point, you have extreme, like basically maximum control in piercing tasks, and then you can guide that blade, and it's the most organic. You're not having to transition your hand up higher to get into the tip to then score a piece of material. Again, regardless if it's cardboard, paper, you know, rubber, plastic, you know, whatever you're doing. So lots and lots of scoring, lots and lots of slicing, but really going through man-made material. That is where I've always found Sheepsfoot designs really, really work well. You know, they remind me of utility knives at a job site when I was an electrical apprentice. I mean, that is really that shape, and therefore the utility and precision. And you're gonna find that you're gonna probably be getting most of your work done with that first 2 inches, I would say. Right there, that's where the majority of the work is going to get done. And you're going to do a lot of draw cutting, I think, with this knife. You can absolutely get some piercing done. Now, it's not like a tanto, or like a clipped point. And this does have a pretty precise tip right there, so I would not, it can definitely handle stabbing, but I wouldn't be doing like prying with it. Don't treat it like a screwdriver, even though they do have a fantastic no questions asked warranty. Even if it gets stolen, send them the police report, proof of it being stolen, and they would replace it. So one of the best warranties in the business that Reiff Knives brings to the table. Now, so that would be the first one, is obviously like the precision of the tool. The second is like with food prep. I mean, think of most chef knives. Have some form of a sheep's foot, straight bottom edge, and then they sweep up. Some might be Warncliffe, but most of them are going to be some version of a sheep's foot, along with search and rescue type of task, because you have a more gradual tip, less likely to pierce, and because you can see it and you have more control and it's closer to your hand and further away from someone, being able to do emergency cutting through cordage, rope, all that type of stuff. And that final area where Sheepsfoots really excel is ease of resharpening. If you're new to knives and you're learning your resharpening skills, or maybe you're used to like cheap kind of basic 1095 and basic high carbons that are easy to maintain and put an edge on, and this may be maybe your first magnet cut blade or one of your first, and because of the straight edge and there's no transitions, recurves, weird angles to keep in contact with, it just makes it very, very easy to maintain and hone, and it's a good learning shape. Sheepsfoot designs are not my preference for outdoor use. They can absolutely get tasks done in the outdoors, feather stick making, some basic just sweep cuts, if you're shaping something. But the areas where they start to kind of lag for me is one in like any sort of minor batoning. So if you're side splitting, if you are, this is a 3-inch knife, basically, the cutting edge is about that. So you're not going to be doing anything crazy, but you just have even less and you just ricochet off the nose if you're doing anything like that. And then also just like fine push cutting. You basically have to come back here to this flat portion to then do a push cut, meaning that you're not able to get really close and do a notch. Notching is just easier with this style because you have a flat and you have this belly right here. It's closer usually to your hand and just works a little bit better in my experience. Your mileage may vary. And so if you're looking at these two, this I would say is definitely for the utilitarian slash chef slash search and rescue recovery person, and then the original design is more for the outdoorsman. Can it do all the tasks I just said? Absolutely, but the geometry on the tip is quite high, so it changes the entire functionality of the knife, lending itself better for outdoors, but definitely lagging a little bit in general utility and food prep compared to the two tip sweeps. Look at how drastically different those are going to be. Leave a comment below on which blade shape your usage makes more sense for. Now, and we have much more to get to, including handle ergonomic sheaths and competitive option just for some food for thought. And let's circle back real quick to that pricing, and if you haven't already checked the description box, like how the promo code and all that works. Now, the promo code is going to be running from the moment this video goes live until July 27th at midnight Eastern time. It will become inactive. GT30 knocks $30 off one of these blades. And Reiff Knives didn't pay or sponsor this video in any way. They just sent me the sample. I have an affiliate link. I just want to give back to you guys any way I can, just saying thanks to Gideonstactical crew. And when I can throw that weight around and get you guys a good hookup, that's what I want to do. Now, these blades normally are starting at $285, which is still very competitive for American-made small company magnet cut with excellent warranty. Think of like Benchmade Dacians around the same size, starting at $300, lower HRC. Add to that the $30 off, we're starting like what, $255 starting price. Now we're really competitive, really brings up the like value factor, and we're swinging right in with like the Overland series from SCHWARZ and a lot of other manufacturers. So all that info will be in the description box below and popping up as well, that you guys can explore if you feel like this one is checking the box. That Ergos first. Now, you can get these with definitely different types of materials and color combinations. They are swappable, whereas old Reiff models, like the original F series, those were like custom formed to each blade. Swap in between depending on what you're doing. And what's the best part for me is that the guard is encapsulated, and this has a full handle, fully contoured, a little bit of ribbing, really locks you in. So many knives in this size range end up having exposed metal guards, which creates a hot spot. This feels just so comfortable in hand. You're locked into place. I got large size hands, 3 1/4 across knuckle span inches, and you can see how much real estate is left. Great grip in a reverse grip, kind of that flat portion right there for whatever you want to do. So ergonomically, this is one of the better knives you're going to find for ergonomics and grip in this size range. Now, what about the sheaths? Because they've totally updated the sheaths. You know, how do you get this camo? What about this adapter thing over here? Now, with that, these Kydex sheaths are sick because they're pancake design. Click in, we got screws for torsion to be able to torque down and then dial in the tension that you want. They're slim, lots of lashing points to choose from, and they are going to ship with blade tech locks, which is great. Again, all USA made. Material, I immediately threw an ulti-clip on there, and these are great for pocket carry in that regard. And they are migrating their designs over to this versus the Taco. I was always kind of lukewarm on the Taco Kydex, so even like the new Vicon is rocking a similar style of Kydex sheath. Video coming soon on this thing is boost. So they're migrating, which is super cool. Now you may be like, well, what about this camo over here? Well, what's super cool about that is that they ship with the black, but you can order separately different color patterns, including this camo. And the best part, because because the handle and the blade width and everything is the same, regardless of the blade shape, these fit perfectly. So depending on which model you want to go with, boom, same thing over here. So if you have one of the older leather options, which was awesome as well, and I believe they're trying to get those back in stock, but you want Kydex, these are ambi, so cool. Very, very smart, and gives a lot of options and versatility in these Kydex sheaths. Now, what about this little adapter over here? This is called the DIRK sheath, and it comes from a US company called Full Tank Tactical, and they make all of their soft goods, meaning like packs, chest rigs, pouches, all that stuff, right here in the USA. So this is a USA-made adapter, and it should fit most blades. They measure up to 5 inches. I've tested 1 or 2, like 5.5, 6 inch Kydex sheaths, and they've worked in here. What it does is they've given you like Kevlar, laser cut material here, like pancake with a shock cord and some different strap options. I carried my Circadian just with this Velcro loop over my belt, and it worked great as kind of like a drop leg option. If you wanted a little bit lower ride, that could potentially really work, and you just, you know, feed it through the eyelets of whatever you want. But then you could also carry it, and it's designed kind of in a back way. So you could do horizontal, you could do vertical, you could do different things through molly webbing or like scout carry, you know, all kinds of different stuff like that. And just as a kind of a quick example here, just to show us, here's like a very large SOG fixed blade, but it comes just with like a knockoff blade tech lock. So you're gonna have to get some sort of adapter if you want it to actually ride lower or give you maybe some different modularity. There you go. You would obviously take the blade tech lock off, run the shock cord through the eyelets. I'm just kind of giving you an idea there. But that's how it would function, ambidextrous. Now I can have a drop leg ride right there, or again, run it backwards, and now I can attach it all sorts of different ways as well, just giving some extra carrying options. So I'll have a link popping up over to their site where you guys could explore that. It was a cool just kind of adaptation that I was kind of messing around with for the Circadian if you want a more low ride that Ulti-Clips and Blade Techs can't give you. Okay, and let's button it up just with a quick competitive option. You know, last week I did the Overland X and I ran in the Sheepsfoot Circadian as a competitive option. We just see a lot of similarities there in profile, American made, Magna Cut. Very similar pricing, especially when we include the promo code that we're running right now. The difference mainly that, and I was getting a lot of questions about, is going to be in handle ergonomics, where this is very slim, great for like on-body carry. You're definitely going to get a lot more girth and an encapsulated guard on the Circadian. And that's really where I think it's going to come down to, what do you prefer? Slim kind of profile or bigger, rounder handle and a dedicated guard? Some people will totally dig it. Some people will not, this type of profile. Think like killer whale, think Mako shark. Slim, fast, fuller, beefier, and a little bit more ergonomic on the handle. So just some food for thought, giving you guys some competitive options there real quick. But guys, excellent options now in the Circadian series. Just leave comments below what you guys think about the Circadian line. Maybe what blade shape would you like to see next? Leave a comment below there as well. I think there's a lot of options that can still be done in the future with this whole series. Very, very cool line. So appreciate you guys. Till next time, always remember, stay equipped, stay prepared. See you out there.